And now it's time for our next session in the Data Protection and DR Megacast. And this session comes from HYCU. And presenting for HYCU is Beekhuis. Tish, welcome. Thanks for being on the event today.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, well, take it away.
Perfect. Thank you. Yes, like I said, I'm Beekhuis, SE Northern Europe within HYCU. And for the coming 20 to 30 minutes, I would like to take you through how to best select a multi-cloud data protection as a service solution and what to look out for in the next gen data protection that is out there. Before I do that, I want to have a look at today's reality. If you look in the meantime already quite some years back, for most customers with our on-premises infrastructure, it was like their castle, some call it also the data center. All your infrastructure within boundaries, including your different platforms, application, databases, all not always that easy controllable, but at least at one place, and you had one single view on where it was. Over the years, of course, that developed also into cloud infrastructure, cloud services. The first software as a service came in. And it already started to complicate things a bit more from where pieces of your business critical data were and how to protect those as well. Looking at today, we see really an explosion specifically also of the SaaS services out there. Every department has their own needs for their business applications, and also startup, sometimes without even knowing of central IT, their own SaaS applications for specific functionality. And this leads that data is everywhere, not only in that good old on-prem data center, but also in the different public clouds, infrastructure services, database services, platform services, and all the other SaaS services out there. How do you keep control and how do you protect this? In the past, it was quite easy with your on-premises infrastructure. Like I said, it was all quite controllable. Not always the easiest to protect, but at least you had the visibility on it. A lot of customers still believe that that same protection like end users expected from your on-premises infrastructure is also provided by cloud service providers and software as a service providers. A lot of customers still believe that it's a service, so they protect it, they take care of it. But for every cloud service provider, for every software as a service provider, they have one commonality, and that is that they all operate by the shared responsibility model. Meaning they provide a service. They have an uptime, an SLA, etc. around the service, but always you are responsible for your own data. You have to make sure it's protected. You have to make sure it can be restored. That's not the responsibility of the SaaS providers. Looking at that big gap that we see in cloud and SaaS for data protection, also one of the interesting facts is perhaps that SaaS is currently the #1 target for ransomware attacks. And over half of those attacks are successful. So looking at how to choose a next-gen data protection and DR solution, there are a couple of things to keep in mind when looking also to protect not only your on-premises infrastructure, but also those cloud and SaaS applications. And it all starts with visibility. Know what applications are out there. What we see, of course, with a lot of organizations that some say, no, we don't use cloud, but in the meantime, they have an Azure AD or Microsoft 365 or departments that use different SaaS applications. So it all starts with knowing what you have within your organization and where your business critical data is. Then second, of course, how do you protect all? Not only the most common ones, but any SaaS application out there. Currently, we are around 17,000 SaaS applications available worldwide. Average mid-sized organization in the US easily uses 50 to 100 SaaS applications, if not more. So how do you make sure you can protect that? And like I said in the beginning with the keynote, not only protection, a backup is nothing if you cannot recover it. So specifically recovery, and not only can it recover, yeah, of course, every backup solution can do a recovery, but how do you do it? What is your granularity? How fast do you do it? How intuitive is it? Can an application owner do it by themselves? That are really things you also have to look into recovery. So not only for the cyber events, the ransomware attacks, but also from the operational point of view. And with that all your business critical data all over the place, how do you keep compliant? Compliancy starts with having control, having that visibility, making sure you have your data locality in place to comply with any rules or regulations out there. So data protection is needed for applications, not only for on-premises infrastructure, but also when running in cloud or SaaS applications. Not only for those ransomware attacks that we hear a lot of, but also still for the more common data loss, the accidental deletions. Human error is still a huge factor in data loss, also in cloud infrastructure and SaaS applications. Logical failures and corruption still happen, and also the rogue admins is something we still see on a weekly basis. Not only have that data protection to be able to recover, but also to be compliant with be it GDPR, HIPAA, SOC, ISO, or whatever. So really make sure you have that data governance for the short, but also for the longer term retention, and have the ability for offsite copies as well to comply for ransomware protection in there as well. That's why we deliver data protection as a service for modern applications. And not just take our word for it, but also look, for instance, at the companies behind HYCU. Our venture capitalists and really leading SaaS vendors out there are among our investors like Atlassian, Okta, Bain, Acru, and Cisco. And I think specifically in Okta and Atlassian, why they became an investor in HYCU is also that they saw that big gap in data protection and protecting modern applications going forward. Because a lot of customers have the ability to create their own integration for each specific SaaS application they have, next to their physical backup, next to their virtual backup, their Kubernetes platform, and all kinds of different point solutions. And this is a situation that was basically reality before we launched our solution, because most SaaS vendors don't provide customer-friendly APIs to integrate with for data protection. It's not their primary focus. The primary focus is the specific business application they provide, not the data protection side. And this, of course, becomes really unmanageable for customers. This is where you really lose visibility and lose control over your data estate and how to protect that complete end-to-end environment. This is why we provide our solution with R-Graph. R-Graph is really focused on that first step, what you need for next-gen data protection to really visualize your complete estate. Not only your on-premises infrastructure, but also all your cloud services, be it AWS, Google, or Azure, including SaaS, for any SaaS application out there. This can be easily integrated with identity providers like Okta and Azure AD, to discover really all those services that are out there. And from a single point of view, really see what kind of applications or what kind of infrastructure or platforms are used by the different departments, and of course, if they're protected or not. It's quite easy, basically one click, a policy attached to a specific application, which also can be done automatically to have the right RPO and RTO also on your business applications in any of the platforms out there. How we do this is a bit different than what you see most in the market. Like I said, there are 17,000 SaaS applications out there, and we have a great engineering team, but I don't think they're that great that they're going to develop an integration with 17,000 different applications out there. So what we did is really turning around the chicken and egg story of how do you integrate with a SaaS application if they don't provide you the APIs for data protection. That's why we launched R-Cloud. It's the world's first development platform, a low-code development platform for data protection. Here, any SaaS vendor or ISV can integrate their SaaS application with our SaaS backup and recovery. It's really based on native data protection, so native integration through the APIs, but they can utilize the granular restore, the offsite and immutable backups we already provide, and it's easy to subscribe and really provide protection in minutes. So with R-Cloud, we provide really the development platform for SaaS and ISVs to integrate their platform with our data protection, all based on native APIs from our side and the SaaS vendor, of course managed, secured, but also published by HYCU through the HYCU marketplace. And this goes for any application out there. Of course, the first ones already did it, and a lot are on the way, but it's quite easy to pick any of the SaaS applications out there, go to the R-Cloud process, develop the integration, and from there publish the specific modules for those SaaS applications in the HYCU marketplace, where it's available for any customer out there. What we do is really provide coverage for everything, not only for SaaS PaaS database services in the enterprise, but really provide automated backups, easy one-click restores, and offsite ransomware-proof copies for any platform you use, be it virtual or physical platforms on-prem, container-based platforms, cloud infrastructure platforms for the most familiar ones I also mentioned, or any of the thousands SaaS applications out there with support for already Jira Service Management, Confluence, Okta, Salesforce, and others that are familiar for most of you. So what HYCU really provides for our customers is a platform-independent data protection solution, not only for today, but also for tomorrow, for any modern SaaS application out there, where we provide that visibility through our graph, so knowing what you have within your organization and if it's protected or not. Integrate that quite easily with our core capabilities for backup and DR, and also with that, because we support all the different platforms, provide cross-platform mobility and disaster recovery between on-premises, public cloud, or vice versa. For those that are not sure how ready they are for ransomware preparedness, we also have our R-Score, where we provide the insights into how prepared you are, where the gaps are, and where to strengthen. And of course, everything available from one single pane of glass within one data protection as a service solution that covers it all. Before I will have a look at the questions, this slide is clickable. It will guide you through our website. Please have a look. From here, you can get a free trial, but also, for instance, get a demo. Or if you're more interested in also on the development side and the low-code development platform R-Cloud, that is where you also can get started. Good. I'll have a quick look at questions if there is still time to answer some, and otherwise I'll do it later on.
Yeah, Tish, we've got plenty of time for questions
Cool.
here. And let me just put up the poll question so people can click on there what information they'd like about HYCU. But Tish, we do have a few questions coming in here, and if you want to keep an eye on the console too, that'd be great. But one of the first ones here, they're asking, with all the different on-premises cloud and SaaS sources that you support, how do you integrate any agents that are needed, or how do you integrate it, and what agents are needed?
Yeah, it's a question we get quite regular, and this is where we are fundamentally different from any other data protection solution out there. We started with the idea that we would live in a multi-cloud hybrid world, and that there will be many platforms out there. Customers start on one, move on to the other, and probably the ones that will be the biggest are the ones we don't even know or exist today yet. Because of that, what we always do is for every single platform that we support, we do it based on native integration. We always use the core capabilities of each platform itself, and in that way, we never use agents. There is no dependency in HYCU for integration into a specific platform. And that way we can support new platforms that easy. And now specifically also with R-Cloud, we even have a development platform available for external parties to do their own integration onto the platform.
Okay. All right, great. Hey, there was another question here, probably prompted by that slide that you had with all the different types of backups, and then you had the meme about the fire, everything's okay. But the question here is, we have a lot of sources and jobs to schedule. How does HYCU make that manageable?
Yeah, of course, when you support on-premises, cloud, SaaS, and everything, like I said, it all starts with visibility. So the automation in that's a big part in it. But also specifically on the protection side, we don't use backup jobs or those kind of things. Everything, again, is based on simplicity and automation. So the way we protect sources is based on policies. And policies are basically service level descriptions of how you want your data to be protected or how you want your departments to be protected. And in there are things like RPO, RTO, where does data need to be? Does it need to be immutable for ransomware protection? On what locations does it need to be? That's all included into the policy, and that policy is connected to workloads, and HYCU takes care of backing up and protecting your workload according to the policy. So really making it easy and taking out all the planning and job schedules and those kind of things.
Okay. All right, great. Another question here from Nicholas, who's asking, we have other ransomware products installed. Would we need to get rid of all of them, or does HYCU play nice with other products?
Yeah, a good one to understand when we talk in general cybersecurity and more specifically ransomware protection. There are always three main areas. One, the visibility, again, knowing what's happening. Two, the protection done by your cybersecurity solutions. And three, the recoverability. If still something happens, if they still break through, how can you recover? And we as HYCU, we really focus on the recoverability. And for recoverability, we really also rely on the cybersecurity solutions out there. To give you an example, of course, we write to immutable targets, and we can do that to any target out there. It can be on premises, it can be cloud-based, or whatever services out there. But also, for instance, a really important one is that we have automated validation of our backups, where we do physical restores in a sandbox environment where you can do any check on your restore. But one of the checks that most customers, of course, do is also do a scan with the latest updates and the latest information in your cybersecurity solution if those backups are clean. And that way we can easily validate also the longer term copies that are immutable, and still, if that copy is a year old, know that it's clean with the information we have today. So that way we really integrate and leverage also existing cybersecurity solutions out there.
Okay. All right. Super.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Cool.
and Tish, looks like we're running out of time, but I did want to ask you if somebody wants to get started with HYCU or find out more, what do you recommend?
Yeah, like I just said, go to our website. From there, we basically have any information, but I think the three main ones is from there you can get started with a demo. You can get a free trial, so try it out yourself. Like David said in the beginning, always try to see how it works. Or if you're more on the development side and integration of SaaS into data protection, that's also the starting point for R-Cloud and to get the access to the low-code development platform as well.
Okay, fantastic. And I put back that slide up, that clickable slide, which goes to the website.
Thank you.
Yep, and also there's a handout in the handout section, which is a great PDF on multi-cloud data protection as a service by HYCU. And Tish, thanks so much. If you can hang around at all and answer any of the questions in the chat, there were a bunch of questions that unfortunately we didn't have time for, but thank you so much for being here and bringing us up to speed on HYCU. Really appreciate it.
Thanks for your time. Thanks.